All right, guys, so we're going to start with our first lesson for new learning, which is actually something that we already did before. So you should be watching this on Edpuzzle. You're taking notes either on the worksheet that you printed out, or you can take notes on loose leaf and just submit that to me. Either way, I'm fine with. If you have any questions, of course, reach out with whatever they are. So what we're going to start off with is solving exponential equations using logarithms. So your first step, you already have these notes. Your first step is to isolate the base with its exponent. That's the first thing you're going to do. Isolate the base with its exponent. Get it by itself. Second step, you are going to take the log, or you could take the natural log. That's specifically if you have the base is the ln. The base is e. ln of both sides. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Your third step, you are going to move the exponent to the front of the logarithm. So whether it's log or natural log, so this might start sounding a little familiar. Move the exponent to the front of the log. And then your last step is to solve. So you divide the logs over. So you solve, and you're going to be rounding correctly. Make sure you're reading the question and you're rounding where it's telling you to round to. So these are your 4 steps. I know it doesn't really line up that great, but that's okay. Okay, so using these steps, we're going to do the first one. So if you remember, I gave you a rule that you are writing, because this can be a little messy with decimals, you are writing out 5 decimals until you get to your final answer, and then you can round where the question wants you to round to. So for these 3 practice questions, it says solve 4x, rounded to the nearest thousandth. That's 3 decimal places, but that's only your final answer. Okay, so number 1, isolate the base with its exponent. So here the base is 2 and it's raised to the 3x plus 1. So first I am going to divide both sides by 77. You can never multiply the 77 and the 2 because the 2 is attached to the 3x plus 1. So 924 divided by 77 gives me 12 equals 2 raised to the 3x plus 1. So now I have the base and the exponent by itself on the right side of the equation. Second step, take the log or the natural log of both sides. The base is a 2, so it doesn't matter if you do log or ln. So if I do log 12 equals log 2 raised to the 3x plus 1. Third step, move the exponent to the front of the log. So now this is log 12 equals, the exponent is 3x plus 1 times the log of 2. That exponent now becomes multiplication in front of the log. So now I divide both sides by the log of 2. Divide this side by the log of 2. The right side, it cancels out. I get 3x plus 1. And on this side, when I do log 12 divided by log 2, I get a whole long decimal, but that's not going to be my final answer. So I have to write out 5 decimals. That's my rule. So you're going to write out 3.58496 is what you should get. Okay? And then from here, this is easy. You subtract the 1. So you get 2.58496 equals 3x, because this canceled over here. And then you divide both sides by 3. And that gives you this 3, these 3's are going to cancel, x equals, so now you can round once you get x equals, nearest thousandth, again, is 3 decimals. You should get 0.862 for number 1. Okay? For number 2, 11e raised to the 0.5x equals 1. So this one's a little tricky because remember, the base and the exponent, 11 is not raised to that exponent. There's no parentheses. So you have to start off by dividing by 11. Okay, so this gives you e to the 0.5x is equal to 1 divided by 11, a whole big decimal. You have to write out 5 of them. 0.09090. That just keeps repeating. Make sure you're not rounding that number in your calculator. You're keeping out the entire thing. So once the base and the exponent are isolated, you take the log or the natural log of both sides. Here, your base is an e, right? It's e to the 0.5x. So you're going to benefit more if you take the natural log of both sides. And I'll show you why in a second. Take the natural log of both sides, and then the third step, move the exponent to the front. So you have 0.5x times the ln of e. If you want to put the exponent in parentheses, you can. Equals the ln of 0.09090. So now if you remember from class, the ln of e is 1. The reason why the ln of e, the base of ln is e. This is saying e to what power is e, just like this one. If I gave you, not ln, if I gave you log base 5 of 25. This is saying 5 to what power is 25. So log base 5 of 25 is equal to 2. Okay, I know it's been a while. So the ln of e is 1. So this is really just 1, which anything times 1 is itself. So really now you have 0.5x equals the ln of 0.09090. If that confuses you, though, you can just do exactly like what we did for number 1. So now for this one, all you have to do to solve for x is divide by 0.5. And that gives you x equals, so this is going to be your final answer. So now you can round this number. X equals negative 4.796. Okay, this is for number 2. And the last one, number 3 on here. So this one has a whole bunch more going on. So here, first step, isolate the base and its exponent. So the base and the exponent is right here. So my first step, I'm going to add the 551 over. This cancels on the right side. On the left, I now have 1900 equals 8700 times 0.945 raised to the x minus 4. Now I'm going to divide the 8700. You cannot multiply that by what's in the parentheses. Divide by 8700. Again, this is going to cancel over here. So over here I have 0.945 raised to the x minus 4. On the left side I have a decimal. I can't just chop off that decimal though. So I'm going to write out 5 of them. So 0.21839. I take the log of both sides, because now the base and the exponent are isolated on the right. 0.21839 equals, if you want to, you can bring the exponent out front in this same step. I think some of us were doing that in class. So equals x minus 4 log of 0.945. I divide by the log of 0.945. So this will cancel. Divide by the log of 0.945. So on the left side, when I actually divide these logarithms, I'm going to get 26.89516, again 5 decimals, equals x minus 4. And then my last step, I add the 4 over. This will cancel, and I get x equals, or something equals x, doesn't matter. And then here, now you can round. So you would get 30.895. And that's for number 3. Okay, so now that you've had a little bit of a refresher on this, I have a worksheet for homework that's only like 5 questions. So all of this will be due Sunday at midnight. Okay, you can either do that on the worksheet or you can do it in your notes on loose leaf. Let me know if you have any questions at all. All right, have a good day, guys.